Welcome to the Alex Urbina radio show. Today we are live in the KHTS studio in downtown Newhall, California. Joining me in studio is my lovely co-host, Ellen Tunick. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Ellen. So today the show is all about talking about creating your dream. And when I think about creating your dream, I remember growing up, they used to say following your dream. And for me, at a certain age, I got clear that I don't know if my dream is out there to follow, but I just got clear that I have to figure out how to create it in each new moment. Like whatever I was up to today is going to parlay the next level of co-creating the next steps for my dream to happen. And joining me today, we have a special guest, is my youngest daughter, Sasha Urbina.
Hello,
age
what's
22.
up?
Thanks for being here today. Let's talk
you.
about creating your dream. I guess my first question to you, Ellen, is are you ever too old to create your dream?
I
Never.
do not think you're ever too old to create your dream. My dream is to make sure I wake up every morning, so that's good. But I don't think people are conscious of even understanding that you create. What is creating your dreams? What does it look like? What is the process? But no, you're never too old.
So, and I'm glad that you brought that up, because when we talk about creating your dream, and people go, "Huh? What are you talking about?" or "What do you mean?" When we talk about creating your dream, we're talking about manifestation. The word manifestation means you're bringing forth something into existence. And a lot of us don't think we are that powerful to be manifesting anything. We think the world just happens to us. Like, I go about my day and just, I hope today is going to be a great day, right? I hope.
Yeah.
Like great days just going to follow in front of me.
Fall out of the sky
and just dance around me. And opportunities are just going to come out of nowhere and show themselves. And so, but if you start to see your life as though life is just life, and it's like a blank canvas filled with opportunities for you to create whatever it is that you want to experience, then it puts you in the driver's seat in life, knowing that whatever experiences that you're going to be having is something that you have caused and created for yourself, including that dream job, that dream life, the things that we as little kids visualize ourselves having or experiencing when we get older. And this is another reason why I wanted to talk about this. I think to myself, how many young kids have stopped dreaming?
A ton.
I agree.
Because, like for me at least, I feel like I had dreams up until maybe like 15, and then like 15, 16, I was really passionate about it, and then like I started to doubt myself. You start to listen to other outside influences, and you actually start to like, okay, like when you get your first job or whatever, like some of those dreams feel like pushed off into the back burner. Oh, you're gonna go to school and do this and this and follow these steps that you kind of stop dreaming. And I remember thinking, like, when I was in that, like, I stopped dreaming. I was like, oh my God, I remember when I would fantasize about this and traveling and doing all these things. I was like, wait, what happened to that? And then I would see posters, like everywhere, like Target, whatever, dream big, and it would make me so mad. I'm like, what does that mean? Dream big. Like, that was like something that was on my mind all the time.
I hear what you're saying, and even with my own kids and my grandkids, one of the things that I have noticed is that it's okay to switch up your dream.
Absolutely.
Oh yeah.
And I think that people don't understand that. They think, okay, my dream is to do this, be this. Well, and that's wonderful for that moment of dreaming, and you go through your journey and your process. But it's so okay to switch it up, to change it, to have it look different, to go all the way from this side to that side.
That's true.
Young people don't give themselves permission to do that.
Well,
That's true.
I don't think they not only give themselves permission, is because no one has taught them that process, or no one has validated that it's okay to not be clear about what your dream looks like fully, or no one has said or opened up a dialogue to say, let's explore what having a dream looks like and what it could be like, and just like go deeper into what if having a dream was a process of having constant dreams ahead of yourself that you keep fine tuning, right? Like it's almost like when you think about some of the artists, some of the ones that are world renowned, that have built these beautiful masterpieces. And I forgot the name of this artist, but somebody will probably correct me. But it's the one where the artist said, I just got a big piece of rock and I chipped away at everything that was not David.
Although
it's a beautiful masterpiece called David, and it's
Michelangelo.
Michelangelo.
Mm-hmm. I've seen it in person.
And when you hear that quote, it tells you that he stood there and saw this big, massive piece of boulder, and he saw David inside of that boulder. Mm-hmm. And what he did was he just kept chipping away at everything that wasn't the masterpiece called David. And it's kind of similar to our dreams. Is you might not know what the full version looks like, but you have to start chipping away at what it's not, right? Mm-hmm. Sometimes, like, trying to figure out what is my dream? Mm-hmm. Well, let's first get rid of what your dream isn't. Let's start surrendering and letting go of some of the things that's not your dream.
Yeah.
Oh,
like
that's an interesting approach.
Let's say you're a young person, right? Millennials, mm-hmm. and I go, what's your dream? And you go, I want to be a whatever it is. And I start quizzing you or asking questions like, what do you do on your off time? What are you doing? And you're excited about your off time. Well, we go and we party in Vegas and we go and do all. And so you're revealing all the things that might possibly be getting in the way of your dream turning out, because you haven't eliminated the things that are not part of what your dream is. So just having that awareness is a great starting point to go, I never thought of that. Mm-hmm. You know, the question that you want to think to yourself is, what are all the distractions in my life that actually pull me away from chasing after my dream?
Yeah. And then from that point, like, I think going back to what you were saying about manifesting, I started this thing where I was like, okay, let me wake up in the morning and I have all this energy. Let's focus it. Like, let's start. Because what does manifesting mean? And I started with that question. I'm like, okay, well, it's intending. It's using our intentions to focus that energy towards, say, like you start with your dream and you're like, okay, let me start a little smaller, a little micro goal. And then you can like start in your day and say, I'm going to intend to make one step forward to attain that goal today. Like going to the gym or whatever you're trying to work towards. So I think like intending also could be like the next step as well.
Absolutely.
For creating a dream.
The problem is that you have to learn what intention is. Again, it goes back to someone has to teach you the power of intention. Mm-hmm. When I was growing up, no one taught me what intention was.
No.
And it wasn't until my early 20s when I started doing personal development work and going to seminars, and I had these master trainers and these life coaches, and the people that were getting in front of the room were talking about the power of intention. And once you started talking about the power of intention, I started to go, wait a minute, do I not have that ability within myself to have an intention so powerful within me, like a desire that's so wounded up inside of me that I light myself on fire, and with that intention I actually cause and create the results that I'm looking for.
I think that a lot of people, myself included when I was younger, for whatever reason, there's built-in trepidation and fear of having that amazing intention and going for it. People are afraid to fail.
Yeah.
And we, as parents, friends, whatever, we have to help people not be afraid to fail, because failure is not a bad word. Failure just gives us an opportunity to maybe look at something another way, to begin to feel more confident about ourselves. But there's a lot of fear involved in dream making.
That's true.
I agree. So what's the magic question in that?
How to feel the fear and do it anyway.
Great book.
How can you do that?
It's a great book.
Oh yeah.
So let's first talk about the fear, right?
Yes.
So the fear is driven and created by our ego.
By our ego.
Because our ego does not want us to what?
Be hurt.
Well, that's one. It's protecting us from being hurt. But another thing that it protects us from is ridicule. And if I fail, then I'm opening myself up for people to
Judge me.
ridicule
Ridicule me.
me, throw it back in my face. So your ego is going to do everything it can to not let you embark on any journey or any kind of adventure that's going to take risk.
So you stay safe.
Yes, its job is to keep you safe. And to keep you safe is to not go after your dreams. So it's constantly, silently chattering in the back of your mind saying, nah, you didn't really want to do that anyways.
Right.
You don't have what it takes to do that.
So
everyone else is more beautiful, more talented than you are. And it's silently, slowly shutting you down. And it's convincing you not to go after and chase those dreams.
It chips away at your ability.
A little bit of time every day, all day long since you were a little kid.
Yes.
Yeah.
Until you wake up. Until you have an awakening.
But even like with my own awakening, like I still have like all the time moments where I'm like feeling my ego, my self negative talk come in and start its whole game. And I have to remind myself, no, like I'm a manifester, I'm an intender, like I'm powerful, like I can intend for something and it can happen, blah, blah, blah. Like I can have to remind myself, but it's still like a constant ongoing thing where you have to still remind yourself. So how can you make it easier to remember?
So before I address that question, let me go back to what you just said. You said I'm starting to, or I've been now aware that I have to constantly battle my ego and contradict it and stand up for myself and tell it to sit down and own my own power and to navigate my own life and find my own courage to overcome and take risks and do all those things. That's pretty much what you just said.
Yeah.
But I want to point out how many people aren't even aware of what you just said right now.
Most.
So what you're talking about and the question you're asking me is from a conscious state of awareness, of realizing that you are constantly challenging your ego and slowly pulling back your power from it. A lot of people don't realize that that's what's happening. They're totally unaware, totally unconscious to what's going on, and so what they do is more times than not they're losing to the ego.
Well, ego is very powerful.
It is powerful.
It will win if you let it.
Absolutely. And the only way you let it win is by not being aware of how powerful it is. If you really want to challenge your ego and own your own power and have these breakthroughs, is to be a master of learning all about your own ego. If you figure out how to understand it, make sense of it, challenge it, figure out why it's doing what it's doing, and you just decided for the next 10 years, I'm just going to be the expert of my own ego, you will wake up to higher levels of consciousness, and you will be showing up in such a different way than you were 10 years before that.
The key item there for me personally is it fascinates me when I actually am aware and can say, oh, that reaction was ego-based. And it's fascinating to me to find out why. Where did it come from?
Yeah.
Not, it's like it's awesome to acknowledge it was ego-based, but for me, even more awesomeness comes from why? Where did that belief come from?
Yeah, it's like when you ask the question, it kind of takes the power away of it giving meaning to it, or like thinking that it's like, okay, these are not my own thoughts, or like, okay, where did that come from? Where did I learn that from?
And why is that a belief for me?
Yeah.
So imagine your ego sitting there and it's silently throwing things at you from behind your brain. And then you go, wait a minute, was that ego driven or was that love driven or spirit driven? When you're saying that and having that thought, ego's going, no, no, don't go there. Like it's
like the Mucinex guy.
Yes,
no!
because you're exposing it. It's been it's been so dormant and so hidden behind the curtain,
but so powerful.
Absolutely, but not powerful like it's not powerful like it's decided to be powerful. It's only powerful.
No, we let it.
It's only powerful because we're unaware. Because this lifelong journey of mine is to wake myself up. At some point, I get to wake myself up. And if you're at your deathbed at 90 and you still haven't woken yourself up. Well, guess what? When you die, maybe you'll get another lifetime to come back and do it again. The problem is that I don't want to keep waiting lifetimes.
Yeah,
So I'm gonna,
no.
as long as
Let's do it now.
as long as I got breath in these lungs, I'm gonna try to. I'm committed to waking myself up more this lifetime than I did prior lifetimes, because when I come back, I want to be
out.
I want to be like levitating.
Yeah.
No, I'm just but I want to get back to the question that you asked earlier. You said something like, how do I do it? How do I challenge my ego so that it gets easier? Is that the question you said?
I think so. Go ahead.
And the reason why I remember that is because you used the word easy.
Oh, I said, how can I get easier to not forget that I'm this powerful human being? Like, it gets so easy to fall into all of the other negativity.
So there's a few things you can do that when I say them, you're gonna go, yeah, of course, because you already know it. And then my constant response is, knowing's not enough.
Yeah.
It's through affirmations. Mm-hmm. Now, how often do we do affirmations? We should be doing them every day, all day long, right?
Yeah.
And so we don't do affirmations. But if you do affirmations and you're saying to yourself all the things that your spirit is actually saying to you to remind you, you'll get more clarity about who you are and who you're not.
Yeah.
So when I say who you are, is who you are as a powerful, magnificent being, and who you're not is this ego who's been controlling you and running you and navigating you since you were little. Its job is to protect you, and so it's been doing that. And it will continue to do that. But the problem is that it's protecting you so much in all areas that it really has you play small and safe.
It disempowers you.
It's keeping you safe
And stuck.
and just playing, playing safe. It wants you just to survive to the next day. The problem is in your awakening, at some point you go, I don't want to survive.
Mm-hmm.
I want
something more.
I want to thrive. I want challenge. I want to experience the experiences that are out there waiting for me to go out there and create for myself.
And in that, you also, I also have to understand, and in that, I will have moments where I may fall. I will have moments where I may hit a brick wall. But that's okay. That is not reason to retreat or turn around and then go back to that belief. Well, I knew I couldn't do this anyway.
Exactly. Yeah.
That's a real challenging part for I think a lot of people.
So let's get to. So the first one is what?
Affirmations.
Affirmations. Number 2 is to practice loving and accepting yourself more every single day. If you didn't do affirmations and just started loving and accepting everything you do and everything you are and everything you think and everything you say, and you stop judging yourself, you will grow and you consciously and raise that vibration of consciousness at a higher level every single day until you're unrecognizable at a certain point. Yeah. So number 1 is affirmations. 2 is to constantly practice the art of loving and accepting yourself every single day. And then the third one is get yourself a coach or a mentor that can support you in this journey. I don't know how to say it any other way of how critical it is to have someone that you can turn to and go, oh my God, I'm beating myself up again.
Yeah.
And then that person is like, well, let me remind you how freaking amazing you are and what I've seen you create. Because sometimes we forget, and we need somebody to constantly remind us of who we are, what we're about, and
how far we've come.
And help us shift off of that current perspective that we're looking at.
Because we might have heard something coming in from someone else that felt very judgmental.
That's right, and just kind of triggered all of my limiting beliefs again, and they just came back again. But the cool thing about it is that once you're aware, it's very challenging to not pretend that you don't know anymore.
Yeah, that's true.
It's kind of a blessing and a curse because once
it's
like once you peek behind the curtain, you can't unsee that.
You can't unsee that.
And going back to blessing and curse is that you feel every negative emotion even more, because you're aware that like that what's on the other side of a negative emotion, a very powerful positive feeling. And it's like when I start getting into my self-negative talk, oh my God, it hurts so bad, because like I can feel it more. Like I know
it's more intense.
It's more intense.
Yeah.
And I'm like, no, I'm not going back there.
No,
not going back,
yeah.
not going back. So like I have to.
But how beautiful is that to be
Yeah,
able to experience
definitely.
intense negative emotions?
Yeah.
See, you see them as, I don't want to feel these feelings.
But
what would
sometimes
what would
I'm
it
like,
look
you know,
like?
I'm just gonna let myself ride this, and then
Yeah.
because I
Bring them in. It's so
Yeah,
it's what
so-
you do with them and how you
Yeah.
So what would it
create-
look like if you're having a bad day, and at the end of the night, you do your prayer, you do your gratitude, or whatever it is, and you just go into a state of gratitude for experiencing the bad day?
Yeah.
Because you forget that in order to know what
Contrast.
great days feel like,
Yeah.
you got to go through the muck. And you
Yeah.
got to learn how to embrace the good, the
Everything.
bad, and the ugly. All of it.
All of it.
It's all blessings. And you have to train yourself to see it like that, because we're so conditioned to not see it like that. We don't want to feel
so
the negative.
true.
We don't want to feel sad.
categorize.
We're rejecting
That's good.
and resisting all
That's
that.
bad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, we got to take a short break. When we come back, we're going to jump back right into this conversation. Stay tuned for more of the Alex Urbina radio show right here in your hometown station, KHTS.
Why do people from all over Santa Clarita come to our spa in Canyon Country? Simple. They want the highest quality services at prices that everyone can afford. This is Rosemary from Beyond Harmony Med Spa. Read our reviews and know why we won the Ultimate Beauty Awards 2 years in a row by the readers of Elite magazine. Come and see how close we really are and experience the level of excellence that our clients have loved for the past 13 years. Go to beyondharmony.com or call 298-8008 today for a free consultation.
Little Eye Leaders is the newest preschool in the Santa Clarita Valley. At Little Eye Leaders, our outstanding teachers lead with intellect, perspective, and heart. That means our programs provide a warm, nurturing atmosphere to meet the unique needs of each child. We believe that play is a powerful form of learning for young children. That's why our kids have every opportunity to learn through the magic and excitement of play. Parents, schedule a tour today by calling 303-0400 or online at littleeyeleaders.org.
Coming to the Canyon, Santa Clarita, Big Bad Voodoo Daddy, War, the Magpie Salute featuring members of the Black Crowes, Rita Coolidge, Gordon Lightfoot, English Beat, backed by popular demand, Vince Neil of Motley Crue, performing all the Motley Crue hits, Buck Cherry, Metalachi, Blue Oyster Cult, the Marshall Tucker Band, the Smithereens with special guest Marshall Crenshaw, Wilson Phillips, the Spinners, Menopause the Musical, and much more. Plus country nights on Thursdays, Sunday brunch in the lobby bar beginning at 12 noon. And remember, the Canyon is the perfect place to host parties and special events. So book yours today. The Canyon, Santa Clarita, where music meets the soul. Tickets available through Ticketmaster.
It's time for your special event. Kelly's Wedding Garden is your perfect spot. Kelly's has transformed weddings, anniversaries, company parties in the Santa Clarita Valley for decades. They have it all. Delicious food, a beautiful setting, plenty of room, and a team of professionals that can handle it all. Kelly's Wedding Garden just off the golf course in Friendly Valley. Weddings, bridal showers, bar mitzvahs, company parties, anniversaries, class reunions. Kelly's Wedding Garden is your Santa Clarita oasis for outstanding, memorable events. Discover how you can transform your event at kellysweddinggarden.com. That's kellysweddinggarden.com.
Your hometown station.
KHTS AM 1220 and the new 98.1 FM.
And welcome back to the Alex Urbina radio show. I'm your host, hanging out with Ellen Tunick and Sasha Urbina. We've been talking about creating your dream. Rather than chasing your dream, following your dream, like your dream's just going to pop out of the sky and fall in your lap. It doesn't. Even the people that are born into like families that are, rich or successful, and, it might look like they can piggyback on the
silver platter.
Yeah, they can kind of, but even that's not their dream. Their dream still has to be created. It just looks a different form. They still got to get out there and figure out what their gift is to the world, what's their contribution going to be, and then figure out how to parlay that into making a difference, and then be compensated for it. Well, I think to me that's living the dream. To me, after you create the dream, it's all right, how do I live the dream? Living the dream to me is finding your gift, giving it away, making a difference, and then being paid for it, compensated well for your contribution, right?
Awesomeness.
Yeah. So there's creating your dream and then living your dream. What are some of the dreams that you guys have created for yourself? And if you haven't, what would you like your dream to look like?
You have one?
Don't stare at each other. Just jump in.
My dream, my dreams have changed, obviously.
They're always going to be
They're always
changing.
going to change. So right now, my dream is for my own personal growth in understanding, loving, and accepting this person that's on this earth right now, me, and then taking that and paying it forward with other people.
Do you love yourself?
I'm working on it.
That's not what I asked you. Do you love yourself?
Yes.
How much?
A lot.
I love that. She goes, a lot.
I love myself a lot. I didn't always love myself. I didn't know it was okay.
How many people a day ask you if you love yourself?
Nobody.
You need that. You need people in your life to remind you if you love yourself. If not, you just live in the illusion that you're not even there. A lot of us, when we're unconscious, we don't really have a relationship with ourselves. And if we do, we're not aware that we do.
It's just a bunch of chatter.
No, it's like if I sat down and had you write down a bunch of questions about your relationship to yourself, you would probably sit there and, you'd be struggling because
yes, I would.
You don't look at the relationship you have with yourself. You look through the eyes of my relationships with all the other people. Like, I really love my daughter. I love my nephew. I love my, grandma. So you're looking out at all the relationships that you do outward. But how many of us really stop and look at the relationship that I have with myself? And then the next rigorous question is, what's my commitment to the relationship I have with myself? Some of us don't take care of ourselves very good, right? We, whether it's mentally, physically, emotionally, spiritually, we beat ourselves up, we put ourselves down, we're critical. Sometimes we don't even need any haters in our lives.
We're good enough. Right?
Yeah. Sometimes we're really hard on ourselves. We don't give ourselves a break. And so that's why sometimes having people around you to have you question those things and really go through that journey is powerful.
And now if you don't have those kind of people around you, what is like a really good practice to create a really strong relationship with yourself? I know you're saying to say affirmations. Do you have any other insights on how to even begin if you're coming from a really low self-esteem?
I would start with a diary. I would get a diary and the diary would have your name on it and you would write to yourself. You would start, and it's funny, they say, like, I have an imaginary friend. Your imaginary friend would be you. It's because really it's in your imagination that you're having a relationship with yourself. You got to remember,
that's cute.
Yeah, it is cute. But some people think it's weird.
It's a little weird.
Some people call you crazy, right? But you got to remember, we're the meaning maker to everything. We're making up our meaning anyways. So why not have it be crafted and formulated in a way that actually empowers me? But what would it look like if you created a diary that you wrote to yourself every single day, had dialogue, so that you're not sitting there at the coffee shop talking to yourself and then people will put you in that crazy category. But start internal. Start with a diary, write them down, in the morning, get up, do a little diary, and then at night you're going to diary down what you want to have the conversation to yourself.
And all you have to do is to start something like that would be just write one sentence. People sometimes are afraid of, well, I don't know what to write. Just write one thing. Good morning.
Good morning, self.
Yeah. Good morning, self.
Thank you for waking up today.
So that's a great starting point. So it would be, what do you call it when you welcome someone? A greeting.
Yeah.
So it's a greeting to yourself.
Yes.
What about acknowledgement? Let's go through the day and find 2 or 3 things that I can acknowledge myself for, because we're doing great acts of kindness all day long. And sometimes people don't see them. But guess who is seeing them?
We are.
You are. Sometimes we forget that I see myself do things out of integrity. Like when I lie, when I take the shortcut, when I don't tell the whole truth, or when whatever I'm doing, sometimes you go, oh, I got away with that. No, you didn't. Because you saw yourself. You just don't you're just living in the illusion or pretending.
Sits right here.
You're pretending you didn't see yourself. But that works both on the negative side and the positive side. You're also watching when you're being a great human being, when you're being kind, but you're not stopping and going, hey, Alex, good job. I'm proud of you for helping that lady across the street, and you did it just because you're a kind, caring, compassionate person. Now, that dialogue I just had with myself just affirmed myself. And I'm now a different human being because I saw myself and I validated myself.
I mean...
And most of us are looking for the validation where?
Outward.
We're looking for someone else to validate me.
And how real is that? It's your life, and you are you. So what does it matter about that person?
Well, what would be an amazing gift for any parent is for their son or daughter, no matter what age they are, walk up to them and go, you know what, Dad? I don't need you to validate me because I validate myself.
I love that.
That is, to me...
I would faint. I would be like,
Huge.
But that's huge.
It's huge because it's powerful. To have somebody go, I don't need your love because I love myself. That doesn't mean I don't want your love.
Right.
I'm not needy for it.
I don't require it to be okay.
That's right. And so because I don't require it and don't need it, it frees me up to be even more loving. So sometimes we got to really look at the possibility that a lot of us, including myself, have interpersonal addictions that we don't realize we have. And the more that we can look at ourselves and be honest with, I have this interpersonal addiction to be liked, to be right, to be, I can go down a list of 10 different things about the interpersonal addictions that we don't realize we have. And it's not until we wake ourselves up and are willing to look and acknowledge those that we can change them.
And how does all that relate to creating your dream?
Well, I was going to say, for me, that one's big for me is that addiction to please other people and wanting to be liked. And I feel that overcoming that and working through that is really important for creating a dream and creating my goals, because to not look for other people like a boss or whoever is ahead of me or in authority, like to not give them that power to
take that power back.
Yeah, like to not let that person influence me to stay small or whatever it is, or to not let other people stop you from doing what you really want to do, like friends.
It frees you up. Many people have to be right. When you can get to that point in your life where it's now unimportant to have to prove that you're right or prove a point in order to be okay, that frees you up for all sorts of other things, like how do I enhance my life to work towards my dream? Those things really limit us, and most people are not aware of how limiting those things are. And when you're tied up with all that stuff, how do you move forward on your dream? There's only a certain amount of minutes in the day.
Yeah, that's right. One of my dreams early on as a father in my early 20s was to inspire my kids to create their own dream and chase after that dream. And so when they were little, a lot of times the seeds that I were planting was, hey, find out what you love, go chase what you're passionate about, and then passion leads you to your purpose, and then you'll find your dream job or your dream whatever. And so we've been planting those seeds, both me and my wife, with our kids, to go chase your dreams, not realizing that there was going to be some other things and other challenges that they were going to have to go through. Like, I'm chasing my dream. Meanwhile, 5 or 6 of my friends just got a job. And if you just go get a job, you're making money. And if you're making money, you're buying yourself things, and that's looking really good. It's looking really good. and so then now the next level of parenting had to kick in. So then I have my kids coming back going, Mike, Tommy, Jennifer, whatever, they got all their job or their careers going. Meanwhile, I'm still chasing what I love. I'm still going after the dream job. So
and struggling.
And yeah, of course, but that's the best part is the struggle, because when you get to have that breakthrough and are having those breakthroughs, a lot of your friends are going to look around and go, man, I wish I had that. And it's not a matter of wishing you had that. It's a matter of looking at that going, if you have that, I can have it too. And hopefully it inspires everyone, no matter where you are, what job you settled for. Just ask yourself, is this what I'm supposed to be doing with my life? Is this my purpose? If not, dare to dream a little bit and have enough confidence.
Push yourself outside.
Maybe you can go and start. I don't care if you're 30 or 50 or 80 years old, to start figuring out what is my purpose, my gift, and what with those gifts, how can I contribute that to the world, and be compensated for it, so that I can stop this dead end job that I get up every morning and I hate, or just feel like
I have no passion for.
There's nothing there for me.
Because I used to have this as well, and I feel a lot of people do, is when you're in that position at a job that you hate or whatever your situation is, and you start to think, well, what is my gift? And you don't feel that you have a gift. How do you begin? That's exactly. You don't know. How do you begin to explore those aspects of yourself that you're like, well, why am I here? What gifts can I offer the world?
Sometimes that's really hard.
Definitely. So that
it's not that easy.
Wondering how you could kind of begin to open that box of what are my gifts.
Yeah.
Well, that's your starting point. Remember earlier I said sometimes to figure out what you do like, you got to be clear about what you don't like. So acknowledging that I hate what I'm doing right now. So that's the part of me that's lighting a fire inside of me to figure out, okay, then if I really hate this, then I need to start figuring out what I do love or like or enjoy. But this is where sometimes a coach or a friend or somebody that can help you sit down and brainstorm some ideas. But
right, like what makes you excited?
Yeah, somebody to ask you those questions, like, do you love yourself? What's next for you? What really excites you? If you can get paid doing anything, and there's certain passions we love doing that we forget what time it is.
It's the old, I used to ask the kids, if you had a magic wand, what would you do?
Oh.
I remember when I was in my teens, I started taking on photography as a hobby. And I remember going to this park. It was a public park, and they had a photography studio that was open to the public. You paid, $10 a month, and you got to use their studio inside. It was in, I think, Reseda or Studio City. And I'd go in there, and I would show them my card, and I'd spend hours in there in the dark room taking photos. I'd invite friends to come. I'd take pictures, and I remember thinking to myself, looking at the time, going, "Oh my God, it's 9:00. They're already starting to close." And I remember to myself, this is what doing what you love is that when you're so involved in something that you get lost, you don't even know what time it is.
Yeah.
When you're doing stuff you hate, you're looking at that clock every 5 minutes.
Clock watching.
You're looking at that clock every 5 minutes. When you do stuff you love,
Saying,
you're like,
when do I get out of here?
Oh, we're done already?
Yeah.
I'm having so much fun.
Yeah.
But I also think that in the beginning, like, okay, for you, that photography, that's very apparent. Other people have other passions. That's very apparent that that's what they love and that's what their dream is or whatever. But I also think in the beginning that it starts off really subtle and to follow just a little bit of excitement, because it kind of gets toppled with so much other things that you didn't even really know that you liked photography, or you didn't really even explore any of those avenues because of other things. So in the beginning it might be subtle to kind of trust those as well.
And that's one of the things that when you were younger, I used to always tell you, go out and try new things. Go take that hip hop dance class.
You never know.
Go take that sewing class. Go just try as many things. Your job is when you're in your teens is to go try everything.
Do it as much as you can.
Dad, I didn't like soccer. All right, well, at least finish the season. Do you remember doing soccer and then hating to get up and go to practice?
I also did that hip hop dance class and I killed it. No, but
which told us you're more of a creative. You're a creative personality.
But
so
it's great. You can start checking stuff off.
Yes. Mm-hmm. And that's your job as a parent is to inspire your kids to try to go figure out, what do you love? What do you like? What are your passions? What's your calling? What could your gift possibly be?
Yeah, and it's okay not to know.
Here's some of the problem, though. As parents, we didn't have parents that did that to us. We don't have a modeling to follow to do that. And that kind of parenting can only come from some kind of an awakening. True. Or some kind of a, oh my God, like I now see how important my role is as a mom or as a dad.
Parents have a plan
to
for
really
you.
Set my kids up and plant those seeds to have them figure out how to chase a dream. I guess for me, one of the excitements is watching them go after their dream, because it's like, to me, that's what life is trying new things. It's experiencing all of it. Again, the good, the bad, and the ugly. And you got to learn how to teach yourself how to love all of it.
Right. And also, like you're saying, like teaching yourself to love all of it and enjoying the process and not wanting to, like, that's what I'm learning right now, is not having fun now in the beginning stages and in the unfolding of it all, and not wanting to jump to when it's already there and manifested. It's like, this is the whole point. The whole point is enjoying the whole creating of it. The whole becoming.
The whole thing is a journey.
Right.
You mean you don't already want to be the superstar?
I mean, I do, but don't get twisted.
That's the hard wiring in the millennials. You already want to be the boss.
So instant.
You already want to be the CEO.
A lot of instant gratification.
Yeah.
Your first week on the job, you already want to own the station, right? It's
Exactly.
like I already want that. I already want that position. That's how you're wired. But you're wired like that because you were born into a world where everything just came quick. It's like come on, get to it. Like,
or I'm so afraid of being, like, in the beginning, you're bad at whatever your art is, your craft. You're gonna be bad in the beginning. You're gonna be terrible. Like, that you just got to get all that out of the way. But
you get amnesia sometimes and forget that.
Right, I know, and I'm just like,
then
oh my
I got to
God.
sit there and remind you, hey, this is part of the process.
Yeah. Like, let me just get this out of the way.
All right, we're going to take a break. When we come back, we'll talk more. We'll wrap up the show. Stay tuned for more of the Alex Urbina radio show right here in your hometown station, KHTS.
The best live theater can be found right here in the Santa Clarita Valley. The Canyon Theater Guild has been entertaining audiences for decades with top quality musicals and plays. Located on Main Street in Old Town Newhall, CTG also offers workshops for the young actor in your family. For more information, call the box office at 799-2702 or go online to canyontheater.org.
Hi, I'm Steve Cruz, and my wife and I own the local pub and grill. With 19 70-inch TVs, it's the best place in the valley to catch a game. We have a vast selection of beer, wine, and specialty cocktails to choose from, including our charity ale, where 10% of every pint we sell goes to Carousel Ranch. Our menu features classics with a flavorful twist. Come by for Taco Trivia Tuesdays at 7, Wines Day for bingo and karaoke starting at 8 p.m., and karaoke every Saturday at 9. Local Pub and Grill, right next to Bevmo on the Old Road. Support local, support community.
Men, are you feeling tired, stressed, or just don't have the energy you used to? Did you know this could be related to decreased testosterone levels? Luckily, there's a safe, effective solution. Weeder Prime helps support healthy testosterone levels with clinically tested key ingredients. Just 2 capsules of Weeder Prime each day can help change your mood, energy, focus, body fat, and lean muscle. Feel the way you felt 10, 20, even 30 years ago. Rediscover your Prime with Weeder Prime. To find a retailer near you, visit WeederPrime.com. That's WEIDER Prime.com.
Starting a landscape project? SCV Water is available to help you from start to finish. At their free gardening classes, you'll learn planning, design, and budget, plant selection and care, irrigation and maintenance, sustainable landscape basics, and so much more. Visit yourscvwater.com for a schedule of free gardening classes. That's yourscvwater.com.
KHTS.
Now FM, 98.1 FM, and AM 1220, your hometown station.
And welcome back to the Alex Urbina radio show. Today we're talking about creating your dream. We're actually wrapping up the show. If you missed any of the 2 segments that we did. You might want to go back and listen to the podcast. It was a pretty cool show. Creating your dream. How many of us have just stopped dreaming? I do this powerful 2-day transformational training for teenagers. Been doing it for a little over 22 or 23 years. And one of the things that's so heartbreaking is I have this one exercise where I have each kid come up to the front of the room and they get to declare what their dream is. And out of the group, let's say at a group of 40, a little bit at a time, year after year, I'd have, 3 or 4 kids say they don't know what they want. And then it's 12 kids, and then it's 23 kids. So the percentages through the years started to show me that kids just started doubting themselves earlier and earlier. And I know that when you're 4 or 5 years old, when you ask a kid, what do you want to be when you grow up, their face lights up.
Yes.
And they're so full of hope. But hope slowly dies at a certain point in our society today, with so much information being thrown at you and your ego jumping in going, see, I told you, you're not that special. You're not that talented. You're not that pretty. Our insecurities grab us younger and younger, and it just chokes the hope out of our life.
What I think is crazy is that I've heard 18-year-olds, 19-year-olds, and 20-year-olds say that they feel that they're too old to start like the dream that they wanted to do. Like they're like, oh, like
18 or 19.
Yes, with like I'm not kidding.
Wow.
Like about like sports, like in sports, like, oh, I had to have started a long time ago to be successful in that, in dance, in acting, and like in those dreams, they think, I'm too old because
over already.
It's
The
over
dream is
already.
over.
And I'm like, oh my God. And you look at someone that's like maybe in their 30s, 45 or whatever, older, and they're like, shut up. Like, that's crazy.
But, I can see how they're coming to that conclusion. They're watching other parents that are trying to make their kids learn a certain craft or a skill or a sport younger and younger. Like you take football. Some parents will put their kids in football so those little kids can come up and be the next superstar phenomenon. So you got kids playing football at 4 or 5 years old, running the ball, or you even see it on YouTube, the little kid that can dribble under his leg or kick the soccer ball, for 10 hours straight. All those extreme kids that are doing those, and you're watching those videos and you're being exposed to that.
And you create a belief in your head.
It's very easy for ego to go,
Definitely.
all right, time to create a limiting belief. You haven't been practicing that long. So what makes you think that you're going to be great at whatever that is? So you got to remember, we're being socially conditioned to validate our self-limiting beliefs that I'm not enough of something, and that kills the dream right there.
Yeah. And parents, why is it that the parents create the dream for their kids, which is really their dream, and that kid has to act that out? I mean, it's just all wrong.
But then, like you said, putting your kids to try different things, because you can do that's good. I don't think that's bad.
Well, having them try it, but some of these parents are
really. Oh, I see what you're saying. Oh,
yeah,
okay.
you'll have that.
You're saying
you'll have that extreme parent that will see, that will notice that you're good at something, and if they never fulfilled their dreams or they have an inadequacy in themselves, they will now be obsessed with you actually making it in whatever that is, because it's like they attach your success to their success.
Right.
Their
success is your success.
Instead of, hey, you know what, buddy? I got my own dream I'm chasing. I'm happy for you. I'm excited for you. I'm your biggest cheerleader, biggest fan, but I got to go out and get mine.
Clearly exemplified by the Ball family, in basketball. He is the person that tells, directs, and does everything, and these kids have to do it. So it's a big world out there. These kids have to be able to try it all and be okay with what works and what doesn't.
Yeah, and then you're looking at, you're being exposed to watching people that are just doing, they happen to do something silly and can be like world-renowned famous for doing something that goes viral. And, now you have kids going, you mean all I got to do is just do something stupid and silly,
And that's why we have kids eating Tide laundry detergent pods and doing crazy things.
Walking on bridges.
Yeah. But see, but the difference is those kids think that they're not chasing a dream.
No.
They're not chasing something they love or chasing something that they enjoy or some kind of a craft. What they're chasing is
attention,
to be recognized. They're chasing, if I can do something and get, millions of followers,
then I can now validate me.
Then I validate that I'm enough, that I've made it or I'm successful. And so we got to really be careful and we got to be mindful and we got to be talking to our kids and having those discussions when they're spending hours on the internet watching some of that content. We got to open up dialogue and go, hey, what are you up to? I want to do this. I'm doing. Let's talk about why. Why are you doing that? What do you think the end game's going to look like? What's the purpose of you doing it? Opening up questions and dialogue with your kids.
Having them process.
That's right. That's your job as a parent, is to ask those questions about whatever they're chasing, whatever they love, and ask them why they're doing it. For example, you have a child or a teenager that wants to get a tattoo, and you're like, okay, let's sit down and have a discussion about why do you want to have that tattoo? What does the tattoo resemble for you? What's the purpose of it? What's the experience? How is it going to make you feel when you get it? And by asking those open-ended questions, you can open up a powerful dialogue for that child or that teen to self-reflect and look down deep and figure out why they're doing it. Like, where's the come from? And if you can, by asking one of those questions, they can come to their conclusion that, wow, I'm only really getting this to be approved of or to fit in or be liked. Then there's a breakthrough there.
I love that because I've had a lot of moments where I'm like, wait, why am I doing this again? And and
it's
that
totally
question
okay
is
to question it.
It's a beautiful tool to be able to questioning yourself to the point, though, where you don't psychoanalyze. Because we have some people that can ask themselves a certain question and then they can go down the rabbit hole where the questions never stop. And then it's like this circle of questions, and then you become
nothing ever gets.
You become the hamster in the hamster wheel. So 2 or 3 questions to go down, and then stop and go. Let me ponder upon that, and then if I can come back and do another 3 questions, move on another 3 questions. But some of us, we go down that 3, 4, 5, 12. Yeah,
that's also me. Because when I start questioning everything that I'm doing, every move I make, and then I'm like,
it's the way you're wired. So you have to be careful. If you have that personality and you're wired to psychoanalyze everything, you can drive yourself nuts. Ladies, thank you so much. What an honor and a privilege. I appreciate you guys. It's all the time we have. The good news is we're live right here every Friday at noon. Follow me on Facebook at Coach Alex Urbina. I'm also on Instagram and YouTube. Thanks for joining us on the Alex Urbina Radio Show right here in your hometown station, KHTS.